So once again, I welcome you all to this webinar where we're going to be talking about data analytics as a career, how you can build a career in data analytics. And we compare data analytics with data science and data engineering. So at the end of this session, you should be clear about these three roles, the advantages for each role, the earning potential, the things you need to know, and any other question you have, it will be addressed before the end of this session. So, what are the things we're going to be covering? So, I'm going to do a short introduction of myself and the organization, which is Tech 365. So, what is data analytics? What are the importance of data analytics? Why you should learn data analytics or build a career in data analytics? What are the skills required as a data analyst? Then I'm going to show you a live example of application of data analysis. Then how can Tech 365 help you achieve your goal? Then we take questions and answer that you may have at the end of the session. So a brief profile of me and the organization. So my name is Wale Olajumoke. I am the lead trainer at Tech 365. And Tech 365 is one of the leading IT companies in Nigeria. So I'm a graduate of computer science and alumnus of data science from MIT. I have over a decade experience in IT, which cover DevOps engineering, data science, software engineering. And about the organization, Tech365 is a training center that is dedicated to equip individuals and organizations with cutting-edge skills to excel in digital economy. So in the world today, tech skill is very, very relevant, irrespective of whatever industry, be it finance, be it education, health sector, and other sector as well. So we offer comprehensive, beginner-friendly, and practical training programs. And the goal is to transform the learner into becoming proficient professional in tech domain. So we achieve this by creating a community of skilled developers, of skilled professionals, data analysts, DevOps engineers, cybersecurity specialists who are ready to take up the challenge and become relevant globally. So that's our goal as an organization. For example, I as a person, I'm a graduate of computer science, and at the point of graduation, I discovered that about over 80% cannot solve real-world problem at the workplace, despite being a graduate of computer science. Even when I was serving as NYC member, I could see that even people that have HND in computer science could not even operate computer. How much more being able to solve more complex problems. So that's what inspired the team that founded the organization to come up with practical platform that can equip people with that practical skill that is lacking on campus at the university or higher education, higher institution generally. So we're not just in existence just to teach people alone, but rather to help them acquire hands-on knowledge that can make them job ready so that when they are hired, they can solve problems for organizations. So let's move on. So what is data analytics and why should you care? So data analytics is the process of examining large sets of data. And the goal is to uncover patterns, trends, insights that can help businesses make better decisions. So the bottom line of data analytics is to help businesses to make better decisions. That's the summary of what data analytics is all about. It's about helping organizations to use their data to be able to find patterns and valuable information so that they can make better decisions. so that they can make better decisions. So that's the goal of data analytics. So it involves collecting data, cleaning data, analyzing data, and interpreting the data so that you can get valuable information from those data. So here's an example. In a company, they might have a record of where they store transactions that they perform on daily basis. So this is an Excel sheet where they keep record. So these are order ID of different orders that were made by different customers. And these are the dates the orders were made. These are the order quantity that were ordered by each customer. This is the amount, the cost of the sales that were made by each customer. And these are different customer segments, whether it is a consumer, whether the person is corporate customer, whether the person is small business or is home office. If I ask you, which customer category do you think make the highest order among these data? Like I said, you can respond by typing in the chat, or if you want to respond verbally, it's fine. So can anybody tell me which customer segments make the highest order from this data? Anybody?
The question again.
From this Excel sheet, out of this customer category, we have consumer, we have home office, we have corporate, we have small business. Which of them do you think make the highest order among them? Okay, somebody said consumers. Any other person?
There's no way we can know.
Exactly, that's the point. You
It's not
can
a
even
guessing
have
work.
an idea because it's small, but in real world, it will be thousands of rows of data. So it's going to be difficult to know which one, make the highest order. Even the person that said consumer, the person just guess. I want to believe so. Maybe the person said that, oh, consumer appear many times. I think I'll go for consumer. But the fact that I appear many times does not necessarily mean that's the one that I ordered the most. Because if you appear many times, but you are ordering small quantity, they will still not be the highest. But with data analytics, you'll be able to know. And that will give you something like this. So this is corporate, this is home office, this is consumer, this is small business. Now with this option now, which customer category do you think made the highest? So from this graph, which customer category do you think make the highest order? Corporate, exactly. So corporate has the highest bar, which is uh, five over 5 million. So which is over 5 million, then followed by home office, then followed by consumer, then followed by small business. Now this, okay, can't see the graph. Okay, just a minute. How about now? Can you, okay, just a minute. Can you see the graph now? Are you able to see the graph now? Okay, all right. So with the graph, you can see that corporate has the highest order, followed by home office, followed by consumer, followed by small business. So the point I'm trying to communicate to us is that in real world, you will have data like this, which does not make much sense because you cannot really bring out any valuable information from here. But with knowledge of data analytics, in 5 minutes, you can achieve something like this, which gives a more meaningful information. And like I said earlier, the goal of data analytics is to help businesses make better decisions. So with this information now, the company knows that corporate customer are the one that make the most sales, are the one that bought most of their product. So they can maybe target more of corporate so that they can make more sales, or give them some incentives to encourage them to buy more, or whatever decision they want to make with this information. But the point I'm trying to communicate is that data analytics help you to translate or transform raw data that doesn't have much value into something that is much more meaningful, that can help to drive the business forward. So as a data analyst, Your goal will be to help company to move from just data to something that can help them understand the business better. Example, if I ask you that this month, what do you spend your money on the most? You are likely to guess. But if you're someone that keep record of how you spend your money on daily basis, and the app that you are using to keep that record, it can be an Excel sheet or your banking app or whatever app it is. You can use that data to plot a graph like this, and that way you will know what you are spending your money on daily basis. And if you are spending your money more on, let's say, entertainment, and you want to save more, because you know that you are spending more on entertainment, you can now ask yourself, why I don't need to deny myself of entertainment? Is there some part I can cut down to be able to save part of that money? This is just an example. But that will not be possible if you don't have an insight into what you are spending your money on. So that insight is going to help you to make better decisions. So the same way that help you as an individual, it can help as a business as well. So the business have record of transactions they are making, customers that are buying from them, and so on. So they can now use that information, translate it into a meaningful um, visual that can help them make informed decision. So this is the summary of what data analytics is all about. So let's move on. So what are the importance? What are the benefits? It helps the business to make informed decision, which is similar to the example I gave earlier. So they knowing which customer buy more, give them better idea of how the business is performing. Improve efficiency. So when you're able to analyze data and you see patterns and trends, you can be able to know where to work on, what to improve on for better results. Competitive advantage. You'll be able to understand what the market wants. You'll be able to anticipate what to improve on, new product to create, and have an edge above other competitors. But when you don't analyze data, you don't analyze trends, you will not know what to improve on or areas to focus on. Personalization. So because you know what the customer wants, you can create a personalized solution for them. Risk management. You're able to manage risk better since you now know trends and performance of your sales of your business. I'm only using sales as example. This is also applicable in other areas as well, in health sector, in finance, in agriculture, tourism, education is also applicable as well. So the role of data in decision making, it can help you to reduce cost, it can help you to make better innovation, it can help you to identify patterns, measure performance, and take decision that is necessary based on this insight. So why do you need to learn data analytics? It is in high demand globally. Now, globally, people have data. Facebook, they have your data of all your posts that you're posting on daily basis. LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, they all have this data. Even small businesses, they also have data. But they need to make informed decision with this data. So how can that be possible? That's where data analyst comes in. So your work as a data analyst is to help them use this data for better decision. So example, if Facebook want to create a new feature, they can just create maybe a questionnaire. You just say pop up and they will ask you question, will you like us to do X and Y? So people will respond, yes, I want. No, I don't want. Then they can now analyze the data and see that, okay, majority of people want this feature. Then they will go ahead and create the feature. But if they don't have that data in place, they may not know what people want. They will just try and error. It might not be something that people want, and they must have invested more time and resources on it. But when they're able to collect data, you help them to make informed decisions. This is why data analysts are in demand globally, because companies want to make better use of their data to achieve better results. Business need data-driven decision. So before now, business can just guess what, maybe for example, they want to open another branch. They can just guess that, okay, let's open it in this particular location or let's go to this particular location. But a better approach would be based on our data, where do we have more customer from? Establishing the new branch in a place that is more closer to that customer may be a better decision. So data-driven decision is much more result-oriented as against just making a guesswork. High earning potential. So why should you learn data analytics? Is because it has high earning potential. It's also versatile. You are not restricted to only one field. So if, for example, you are working in a particular industry, you can easily switch to another industry, because it is versatile. The knowledge of data analytics is transferable from one industry to another. And what are the career paths you can follow? You can become a data analyst. You can become business intelligence analyst, or you can become a data analyst. So these are some of the career options you have if you have knowledge of data analytics. So what are the tools you need as a data analyst? So you need knowledge of spreadsheets like Excel that can help you to analyze data. You need knowledge of Power BI or Tableau that you can use to visualize data, just like I showed us in earlier slide, where we have just Excel sheet that doesn't have any meaning. Then we use visualization tool to create a graph that helps us to interpret data better. So you need to have knowledge of such visualization tool. You need to have programming knowledge like Python or R. I need to have knowledge of how to work with database, which is SQL. So with these four tools, you can work as a data analyst anywhere in the world. You can work as a data analyst anywhere in the world with these four tools: Excel, Power BI, Python, SQL. So Tableau is an alternative to Power BI, but Power BI is more popular. So I would recommend Power BI. R is an alternative to Python, but Python is more popular. So I would recommend Python. So these are the four tools you need to become a data analyst. Of course, there may be other tools, but with these four, you should be able to analyze any data that is given to you. And they are also represented visually here. Excel. Under Python, we have Matplotlib, we have NumPy, we have Pandas, we have Seaborn. Then we have Power BI, which is another tool. Then we have MySQL, which is also another tool. So apart from this tech skill, you also need to have some soft skill, which is problem solving skill. You need to be able to um, solve problem. When you give you data, you need to ask yourself, what problem are they trying to solve with this data? What pattern can I observe from this data? You need to also be curious. You need to be someone that asks questions. You need to be able to think. You are just like a detector, like a police that went to a place that robbery just happened. So you need to observe your environment and look for clue. Are there clue that can help to know what really transpired, how it eventually happened, even though you were not there when it was happening. You are not there when the data is being collected, but you should be able to take the data and bring out valuable information from that data. So those are some of the skills and tools you need as a data analyst. So let me do a little demonstration for us. So I'm going to give us enough time to ask questions because I know many may have a lot of questions in their mind. So if there's any of them that is not addressed in the course of this session, so I will address them during question and answer session. So I'm going to bring up my computer. All right, so this is an example of data that you might be given an organization. So if I open it, so this is information that is in the data. So we have the other ID similar to the one I showed you earlier. And we have total of 8,399 rows. 8,399 rows. Because the first row is not counted, they are title. So that's why I didn't add that as part of the number of rows. So you have the order ID, just like invoice number. So we have this order ID, and then we have the order date, the dates the order were made. Then we have the priority, whether it is critical order, whether it is not, it is a high order, is a low priority, or it is not specified. Then we have order quantity that each customer made. Then we have the amount, the sales amount. Then we have the shipping mode. So the process of how the order should be delivered. Should it be delivered using truck? Should it be delivered through regular air or through express mode? So these are different ways the order can be delivered. Then the cost of shipping the orders in dollars. So this is the cost. Then this is province, the location where the order are being made. Then we have customer segments. Which category of the customer is making the order? Is it a consumer? Is it a small business? Is it a corporate? Is it home office? Then we have what category of products was ordered. Then the subcategory of the product that was ordered. The product container. How should product be packaged? Should it be in a small box, in a medium box, in a bag, in a jumbo drum, in a large box? So there are different ones. Then we have the shipping date, the date the order was shipped. So this is what you are given. So as a data analyst, you can now use this information to know how the company is performing. Which month do they make the most order? Which month do they make the least order? Which shipping mode do people use the most? Which province do people order the most? Which customer segments make most revenue for them? Or which product category make most revenue for them? So these are different information you can bring up. So to demonstrate that, I can click here and I'll click on insert. I'll click on pivot table. I'll click on OK. So with pivot table, I can have a summary of the performance of the company. So example, let's say I want to find out which customer segment make the most sales. So I can bring the customer segment here. All the columns are here. So I can drag it into rows. So you can see it here. So we have consumer, we have corporate, we have home office, we have small business. So these are different customer segments. Now this blank is not part, so I can filter that out. So these are the different customer segments we have. So let's see the sales that were made by each customer segment. So we can go to our sales column. So this is the sales column. So I can drag it into values here. So you can see. So this is the sales, sum of the sales for each customer segment. And I can right click, go to sort in descending order, so that the highest value will come first, followed by the lowest. And as you can see, the corporate gave the company the highest revenue. And even though we can see the number from highest to lowest, it's still not easy to compare. So that's where visualization comes in. We can now plot a graph that will demonstrate the difference between each of these values. So to do that, I can select it. I can go to insert. I can go to the chart. There are different types of charts. So I can go for bar charts and I can click here. All right. So I may be a bit fast because of our time, but in the actual training, we take it step by step so that you can practice it as I'm doing it. But so that we can still work within our time. So that's why I may be a bit fast. So this is the visualization of this same data. So you can see here the corporate as the highest, followed by home office, followed by consumer, and followed by small business. So this is how you can find out this information. So what you want to know, which province has the highest sales. So to do that, we can come here, um, insert pivot table. So I will go for province. So I'll drag province, drop it on that row. Then I will choose what I want to find out, maybe order quantity. So I want to get order quantity by province. And I can filter out the blank. So I'll click OK. So these are the sum of order quantity by each province. We can sort it in descending order. So the province that have the highest order is Ontario. So Ontario make the most number of order quantity. Then followed by British Columbia and the next one. So you can see that in few minutes, I'm able to see this information. And I can plot it in a graph just like I did now. So maybe for the first 4, so I can plot it. So like this. So I can filter out the other province. So I can just leave, or I can do it from here. So from here, I can filter out the ones I don't need. So I want Ontario, British Columbia, the next one, which is this, and I'll click OK. So you can see that the chart has now adjusted to show only those 3. So this is sum of order quantity by different province. Earlier I did by customer category. So this is by province. And you can adjust the color of your graph. So you can come to chart style here. So I can come here, I can adjust the color. And I can enable any feature I want. So if I say trending line, so to give me like a line like this. If I don't want this line at the back, I can remove the grid line at the back. So you can adjust the background color so you can see it here. So I can choose, any background color I want. I won't do it, but you can adjust it to your taste. So you can see in a few minutes, you can get valuable information from your data. And you can save it as a picture and use it in your slide or wherever you might need it. So that's some of the example of how in few minutes you can use data analytics to get valuable information from data that ordinarily might not make sense, but with your knowledge of data analytics tools, you can get valuable insights from it. So let's move on. So those are some of the live example. So we have data analytics versus data science versus data engineering. So what's the difference between these 3? Some already have knowledge of data analytics, but they don't know what data science is all about or what is data engineering. So let me break down the difference between the 3. Now, for data analytics, the focus is interpreting and analyzing data to derive actionable insights. So just like I did just now, I was trying to analyze the data, trying to interpret it so that I can get valuable information. That's the work of data analyst. So as a data analyst, you are working on understanding what happened in the past. So that data I brought up is the data of the past. So I try to see what happened. Okay, I can do another thing. Let me go back to the demonstration. So let's go back. So let's go again. So I can do insert pivot table. Of course, there are many features. I'm only using pivot table because it's It's shorter, it will not take time. So that's why I'm using pivot table. In the training, we cover other tools like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, um, Excel functions, and many other tools as well. So it's not only pivot table you can use. I'm only using this one for demonstration purpose. So let's say I want to know which month make the most sale for the organization. So I can bring the order date. I will drag it here. So this is the order date. So this one is January 1st, 2009, January 2nd, and so on. So I want to know which months the company make the most sales. So what I can do is I can right click on this and I can group it by month. So I'll select month. If you want to go by year, just select year. So it depends on what you want. So since I want to know it by month, I'll just select month and click OK. Can you see? I now have January up to December. So I don't want this blank. I can filter that out. So I've removed the blank. So now I have January to December. So I want to know the sales for each month. So I can go to the data, the sales, then drop it under value. So you can see the sales for each month, and I can sort it by highest to lowest. So that means December has the highest total sales, which is 1,467,487 then 0.957. And if you want it in a graphical way, so you can just select it. Sorry. So I can just select it and go to insert. Then instead of the bar chart I've been using, this time around I'm going to use line charts. So you can see line chart. So December has the highest, followed by January, followed by October, September, March, April, February. So this was the trend. It's because I sort it, that's why it's like this. If I did not sort it, so let me undo the sort. So it's no longer sorted now. So let's plot the graph and see the difference. So I'll go with line charts. So you can see the difference now. So this is January. So the sales was high, but it came down in February. Then it went up a little in March. Then came down in April, came down in May, then came down in June, pick up in July, a bit down in August, then went up in September, went up in October, came down in November, then went up in December. So December and January, the sales were high. Then also around October, the sales were high. Around June, the sales were low. So they can now find out what happened within June. Is it that there was much rain and people they could not go out to buy our product? So they can now begin to probe further on why. But at least at a glance, they're able to get this insight on when they sell more. So they may even need to hire maybe more contract staff within December and January so that they can accommodate demands of their order. That's just an example. So you don't assume what happened. You have to put further for you to really understand what actually happened that led to that. So back to the difference between data analyst and data scientist and engineer. So you can see that this one, we are trying to understand the past, what has happened in the past by analyzing the data. So I will go back to the slide. So your goal is to interpret and analyze data as a data analyst. Now, how about data scientist? So as a data scientist, scientist, your goal is to build predictive models and derive advanced insights using machine learning and statistics. So, unlike data analysts that you are just trying to understand the past, data scientists want to predict. You want to predict. So, example could be a company want to hire maybe an engineer, data scientist, sales representative, manager, or whatever they want to hire in that company. Everybody will submit their CV. They can feed their CV into the algorithm that you will build as a data scientist. That algorithm can now classify those that should be hired among them and those that should not be hired. So without them even asking them questions, from the data that were gathered, they can predict who should be hired and who should not be hired. Another example is when you go to platform like YouTube to watch a movie, they will recommend similar movie to you that is similar to the one that you just watched. So that is the work of data scientists. So they will create a model that can do that for you. Or you want to buy a product on Amazon, when you buy a particular product, they will recommend similar products to you. And those that are into AI, which is an advancement in data science. So that are into AI, they can even go further to create something that can work with audio, video, text, or image. So when you are typing, it will suggest next text that you should type. Or when you submit your CV, it will analyze your CV and tell you areas to improve on in your CV. So those can be achieved with artificial intelligence, which is an extension of data science. Then we now have data engineer. So the role of data engineer is to create a physical infrastructure where those data will be stored so that data scientists and data analysts can now have access to them. So they design the infrastructure, they build it, they maintain it, and they store and process the data. So they use things like a server, like a big computer. That's where they keep the data, and that they are very, very large. Just look at Facebook. All your posts on Facebook since I've started, you started joining Facebook. All those your posts are stored somewhere. And where are the people managing those data? They are data engineers. So I believe that the focus of each area is clear. So what are the activities you perform? As a data analyst, you create data, you report, you visualize, you check for trends. So that will be your work as a data um, analyst. As a data scientist, you create a model that can make predictions, machine learning, experimentation. So that will be some of the activities you'll be doing. So it's more of creating models that can be used to make classification or prediction. Why, as a data engineer, you create pipeline. Pipeline means the data will move from this stage to another stage, to another stage, to another stage. Then you have a data warehouse. You know, warehouse is where you keep large goods. So you keep your large data in data warehouse. Then you optimize it so that it can be faster when you want to access those data. So what are the tools that are used? For data analysts, I've said that earlier, Excel, Python, Power BI, SQL. For data scientists, you use library like TensorFlow, scikit-learn, PyTorch. But what TensorFlow can do, scikit-learn can do it. So in the training, we focus more on scikit-learn. But for those learning AI, they will learn TensorFlow. Those that are into data engineering, what do they use? They use Apache Spark, Hadoop, Airflow, Kafka. Then they use platform like AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud Platform. So these are the tools each category uses. So I'll be rounding up now so that I can take more questions if you have any. So what are the outcomes as a data analyst? Your outcome will be a dashboard at the end of the day, a report at the end of the day. or key performance indicator that you have extracted from the data. For data scientists, at the end of the day, you are meant to produce a model, algorithm, or an advanced insight. For data engineer, the outcome of their work will be a clean data, an organized pipeline, or a scalable infrastructure. So that as more data are coming, the infrastructure can scale. Imagine the data that YouTube has 2 years ago, 5 years ago, will not be the same number of data they have now. It will keep increasing. So they need to scale the infrastructure to be able to accommodate it. You don't want to come to YouTube someday and you see something like our bandwidth has been exceeded, or the site cannot be reached. So they must have, put some process in place to ensure that, something like that does not happen. So that's the work of the data engineer. Then the end user, who are the people that use the results? So for data analytics, business leaders, analysts, and decision makers, they are the ones that will use the outcome at the end of the day. While for machine learning engineer or data scientist, those that use the outcome of their work are data analysts, data engineer, and business stakeholders. Then for data engineer, data analysts are the ones that use the platform, data scientists, and technical team. So the data engineer, their goal is not to produce the work they do for users. It is data scientists and analysts, or people that are technical that work with them. So the goal of data analysts to provide insights for business decision. Goal of data scientists to predict outcome, or to create AI solution. Like I said, AI is an extension of it, so they might create AI solution. Why data engineer? They ensure that data is available, it is of good quality, and it is scalable. So background of people that are data analysts, people that are in business, in finance, in IT, in statistics. However, even if you are a farmer, you are a lawyer, you are a doctor, you are an accountant, you can also do data analytics. So you can be a data analyst, because we'll break it down for you in a beginner-friendly manner. So we take you from Excel step by step. We move to SQL, we move to Power BI. They will now move to the more complex one, which is Python. But for those that join along the line, they might start with another one first, then they will now go to the ones that they've not started. But for those that are just starting, you can start from the basic one, then you move to the advanced one. But for those that are data scientists, you might need knowledge of computer science, knowledge of statistics, knowledge of mathematics, or knowledge of physics. But again, even if you don't have all of this background, you can still attend the training, because we'll break down everything for you. We'll teach you fundamental of statistics. What are the things you need to know? What are descriptive statistics? What are predictive statistics? Mathematics concepts like probability. We'll teach you all of these things. Then for data engineering, knowledge of software engineering, IT, computer science, knowledge of the cloud, and so on. So data engineering may be more technical, but like I said, you can learn any of them. We'll make it beginner friendly for you. So what are the challenges of each of them? For data analysts, understanding business needs, making data accessible, and avoiding bias. For data scientists, building accurate model, dealing with unstructured data, and scaling the solution. For data engineer, handling large data sets, ensuring data quality, and managing infrastructure. So I've talked about, okay, so what are the use cases? For data analysts, you want to know the sales trend month by month or year by year. You want to segment the customer like we did earlier. You want to you want to track operational performance. So that might be why the use case of data analyst. Use case of data analysis. Then for data science, you want to detect fraud. You want to predict maintenance. You want to recommend products to customers. You want to recommend the right product. So that might be use case. Of course, it's more than this. These are just few examples. For data engineering, Use case might be building data warehouse, implementing real-time data pipeline, or data processing for machine learning. So what are the earning potential? Like how much can you earn if you work as a data analyst, either remotely or physically or globally? So data analysts can earn between $50,000 to $70,000 annually. If you convert this to Naira, for those that are in Nigeria, this is a lot of money. If you are mid-level, you can earn between $70,000 to $100,000. If you are senior level, you can earn between 100 and above. So you can even earn beyond $120,000. For data scientists, between 70 to 100 as entry level, mid-level between 100 to 140, and senior level between 140 and above. Data engineer can earn between 70 to 100 as entry level, mid-level between 100 to 140, and senior level between 140 and above. And this information can be found from glassdoor.com, paysk.com, indeed.com. I can Google any of these role, data analyst job, data scientist job, data engineering job, and you can see some of the requirements. By the time you're done with this training, you should be able to apply for any of them. So I'm talking about the actual training, not the webinar, because the webinar is just to give you an overview. So how can 35 help you to achieve this goal to become a data analyst? So like I said, our training is beginner friendly. It is project based, meaning that you're going to work on projects at the end of the day. Excellent support. At any point in time, if you're having issues, you're having challenges, you're having error, when you're practicing on your own, it's not working the way it's supposed to work, you can chat us up, you can give us a call. We'll always be available to assist you. Even after your training, maybe 6 months after your training, a year after your training, you can still reach out to us. You also be added to a mentoring group where you can collaborate with other alumni. Career guidance, we'll talk about how to write CV that will communicate to the employer, how to optimize your profile on LinkedIn, how to perform at job interview. So we'll share all of this with you. Then we have job alerts. So from time to time, we share vacancies. People do ask us to recommend our students. So we recommend diligent students among our students. We also refer you to for internship with KPMG, Accenture, PwC when you are done with your training. Though they will not pay you for it, but at least having such experience will help you and it will also boost your CV. Then you will be given certificate of completion at the end of the training. We'll give you one. Also, this company will also give you certificate as well. Then the training is physical and online. So those that cannot attend physically can join online. But those that prefer physical, so we have physical training. If I work in class, you can join by weekend. You can join the weekend classes. So what are the testimonials of our past students? So there are several of them. So because of space, I cannot show you all, but these are some of them. So this, you can also see this on our website as well. So you scroll down on our website, you will see them there. So we have amazing testimonials from our students. So some of our students work at Sterling Bank, First Bank, Zenith Bank, Coalition Merchant Bank, Globus Bank, Unilever, Jumia, Leventis, Bamboo, Fincra, UAC, ARM, Asset Management. There are several of them. So these are some of places where our students work. So how is the classroom like? So this is how the classroom look like. So these are some of the training. So these are the classroom. So these are some of the training classroom. All right, so we have about 5 minutes more. So if you have question, you can ask your question now. So you can either type it in the chat or you talk verbally. So this is one of our students. He won $10,000 after attending our training and participated in a competition. Apart from this one, he has won another amount. But like I said, I cannot put all of them here. So there are potential for you if you have the knowledge of data analytics or data science or data engineering. So it's time for question. Do you have any question? For the data analysis session, because I have another session after now, which is for software engineering. So for those data analytics, Do you have any question? We don't have any question.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, go
Thank you
ahead.
for the session, sir. My question is about as you listed that okay, for data analytics, you are expected to know Python, Excel, Power BI, and what is the I think they are four, sha. So I want to ask that is it necessary that we know all these four two skills before we can say okay we are data analytics, or maybe we can start with maybe two of them, then as time goes on in our career journey we can now try to upgrade ourselves to know maybe the next two or the next one that remains. So that's my
Brilliant.
question.
Brilliant. Now, in real world, when you are hired, you might be working with Excel alone. So it might be only Excel you'll be using. You might not even use the other ones. However, because the need of one company differ from another company, knowing those four will give you an advantage. So in real world, you might not use all the four. It might just be only Excel you'll be using, or Excel and Power BI alone, or Excel and SQL and Power BI alone. You might not use Python at all. But you knowing Python, in case the company require Python, you will be qualified. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So Raymond is asking that okay, before Raymond, someone is asking that how do you go about incomplete data or when data is not well structured? Like I said, this is a 1 hour session, so we cannot cover everything here. So in the actual training, we'll cover all of this step by step, how to handle the missing data, different ways you can approach them, how to clean your data. We handle all of that step by step in the training. So I might not be able to demonstrate all of that here, but it is something you will learn in the training. So it's something we cover in the training. Um, Data analytics, data science, and data engineering, respectively. So, what's the fee for learning them? Okay, so if you want to enroll for our training, data analytics is 400,000 naira, and that is for 3 months for those that are doing weekday. So, 400,000 naira for data analytics. So, I'm going to put that on the screen. So for ease of understanding, just a minute. All right. So data analytics is 400,000 naira, and that's for 3 months. Okay, so then for data science, that's 600,000 naira, and that's for 4 months. So the major difference between data science and data analytics is machine learning. So in data analytics, you will not learn machine learning, but in data science, you will learn machine learning. So under machine learning, you will learn linear regression, logistic regression, suboperator machine, decision tree, k-nearest neighbor, k-means, and many other tools as well. So why for data engineering? So that one is ₦1 million, and that will be for 4 months as well. So under this, you will learn things like cloud computing, and then in data engineering, you will not learn machine learning. So instead, you will learn more of cloud computing, more of the infrastructure. So you learn about Airflow, you learn about Databricks. So you learn about the technical part, the server part, about Docker. So those are the things you learn under data engineering. Then we have artificial intelligence. So under artificial intelligence, that one is 1.5. So that covers data analytics. It covers data science, which is machine learning. Then it covers deep learning. So under deep learning, you learn computer vision and you learn natural language processing. So with this, you can work with video, you can work with audio, you can work with text, and you can work with images. So if, for example, I can create a solution that check people's plate number. So without somebody pursuing you like the way last man normally chase people, you can create a solution in that line. I can use my voice to control my computer or to do whatever I need to do. I can check in a video whether somebody wear nose mask or not. So there are many things that you can use this to solve. So we look at all of that in the course of the training. All right, so for those that register for this training, for this webinar, so I'm going to send us an email on any of this, and I'm going to send us a link on how to register for any of them. So if you have further question, you can either reply to the email or send us a WhatsApp message. I'm sure you have our WhatsApp number, so you can ask further question there. So we'll be wrapping up here. So thank you very much because I need to join the software engineering session. So like I said, if you have further questions, you can always reach out to us either through email or through WhatsApp. So thank you very much.